You ended up wearing a lot of your collection, which necessarily wasn't the plan in the beginning.
Absolutely.
But you embraced the fact that you're the personal brand of it. So the clothes, you're wearing them. So there was the personal piece of the Ghani heritage as well.
Yes.
But also beyond that, something that you always invested in was high quality photography.
Absolutely. And, the thing is, when it has come to personal branding, it's something that my parents instilled in me. I remember when I was quite young, going to boarding school, my father had a tete-a-tete with me. And he said to me, from here on, your life as a woman starts. I'm 11 years old. I'm like, okay. And then he said, the way you behave, the way you interact with people, the way you dress, you're going to be setting the stage for how your life is going to be and how you're going to be perceived for life.
This episode is brought to you by the Travel Counsellors, the only franchise travel company in the UAE. If you're inspired to start a business like many of the guests we have on the podcast, love to travel, and the thought of planning dream bucket list holidays lights you up, then this could be the opportunity for you. This flexible business allows you to work from home, bonus, whilst Travel Counsellors provide the training, back office support, licensing, and access to industry-leading booking platform. If you're passionate about travel and have an entrepreneurial spirit and interested in joining a company that put care at the heart of everything that they do, then click the links in the show notes below. Welcome to the show, Winnie. It's great to have you. How are you doing?
Oh, very well. Thank you. And I'm so happy to be here.
This is a slightly different episode we're doing today because I wanted to, in 2024, inspire people with journeys that some of my clients have been on and just really had that kind of go-to action-taking attitude, which you absolutely do. So thank you for being part of today.
Thank you.
Do you want to tell people what it is that you do?
Absolutely. So I am Winnie Mills, and I'm the founder and creative director of the fashion brand Winifred Mills. So as a brand, we exist to empower women to make each woman feel beautiful in these different shapes and sizes. Sizing range covers the sizing from extra small to 6XL with the commitment to customize and custom size. So every woman has the opportunity to experience the beauty and sophistication of Winifred Mills.
I love it. And you weren't always doing this. So what was it now? 3 years ago? You made 4 years ago?
Yes, no, it was
COVID.
Before, during COVID actually.
Yes, that's when we first started working together.
And COVID changes everything. Now I can't even remember whether it was 2, 3, 4 years ago.
It's like pre-COVID or after COVID?
Absolutely. So this was during COVID when we all went into lockdown. I started looking into the possibility of starting my fashion brand because I've always struggled in that sense, looking for clothes that suited my body shape, for pleasure and for work as well. So then I'm a chartered accountant by profession and working in the banking in the sector. So it was a crash course in an entirely different industry. And so I learned a lot. I studied a lot and I launched my brand online in September 2021.
Yeah.
Was that the end of COVID?
2020.
No, 2021. COVID ended in 21. I think so.
Oh, no, because we started working together. We were building that up the year before because I know it was 2020 when we first started working together, but your official launch was 2021.
Yes, it was in 2021. It was September 30th, I think. Yes. So that went online. And then I was still working full time. And unforeseen circumstances in December last year, actually a year ago this week, we got a message saying that the department I was managing was going to be restructured. And, I chose to see that as an opportunity, actually. The unknown was quite exciting. And I think for the first time, I felt a sense of control over my destiny. So, I decided to take the plunge. Went spaces looking. I was looking out for physical spaces.
Yeah.
Because at this point, lots of customers had been asking if they could come to a space where they could try on the clothes, they could do some fitting, and I wasn't able to offer the full range of services that I was offering without a physical store space. Yeah. So I took the plunge, and in July this year, Winifred Mills opened its doors to the public.
I love it. And there's something about, what you've created is that you've always had big ideas, big dreams. And I remember in one of our early calls, you'd said to me, I want to be in Vogue magazine. And then you said, but you're going to think that's too big, aren't you? I remember those exact words. And I was absolutely not, Winnie. If that is your dream, that you want to see your collection in Vogue, then let's go for it. Let's put that on the goal list. And I will never forget your voice note that you sent me. Do you want to tell everyone what it was?
I know. I mean, it's crazy. I have so much faith and I have so much belief as well. And when I said to do something, I pour my heart and soul into it. I had this conviction. I remember telling you this and I thought, oh my God, you think it's crazy. And I got an invitation from Vogue, like British Vogue. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't wait to share that with you. You know, it was so surreal.
It's the voice note. I can remember then, just, Kelly, you're not going to believe what's happened. And it wasn't then just Vogue. That then brought on other opportunities. And
Tatler. I mean, I had to say no to a few, imagine. But, you know, I always believe in doing things and doing them properly. And with each of it came with the photo shoot and all the rest of it. It came with a bit of work, if you like.
Yeah.
So I had to manage it. So I went for 3 magazines instead. So Vogue, Tatler, and Vanity Fair, as it were.
Very good. But there was something of that, I remember you telling me afterwards, that I said, you know, how did that happen? Or what was the connection? And you'd said that it was the personal piece in terms of you ended up wearing a lot of your collection, which necessarily wasn't the plan in the beginning.
Absolutely.
But you embraced the fact that you're the personal brand of it. So the clothes, you know, you're wearing them. So there was the personal piece of the Ghani heritage as well.
Yes.
But also beyond that, something that you always invested in was high quality photography.
Absolutely. And, you know, the thing is, when it has come to personal branding, it's something that my parents instilled in me. I remember when I was quite young, going to boarding school, my father had a tete-a-tete with me. And he said to me, from here on, your life as a woman starts. I'm 11 years old. I'm like, okay. And then he said, you know, the way you behave, the way you interact with people, the way you dress, you know, you're going to be setting the stage for how your life is going to be and how you're going to be perceived for life. So you have to behave wherever you are. You have to be authentically yourself, but bearing in mind that this is a stage where, you know, you're laying the foundation. I mean, at the time, it didn't make any sense.
But it stuck with you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And to this day, and it does make a lot of sense. And that brought with it lots of confidence for me. So I think I'm very confident and I believe in myself and I believe in, you know, what I'm doing. So I wear my clothes all the time. And a lot of people, you know, sort of suggest, why don't you get an influencer? What? Like, I am the influencer for my brand.
You've really embraced that.
Yes, absolutely. And I never had the opportunity to be in front of the cameras. But I do that now. I mean, I video myself and, you know, because I want to show off the pieces that we design, and that is structured to suit various body types, and that's meant to make us feel confident and comfortable, because fashion as it is not necessarily what you wear, but how you feel when you wear it. And that's the ethos of our brand.
I love that. I always remember as well when you did your first, do you remember you went on the radio show?
I did.
The very first radio show. So again, and this is the whole piece of the personal brand. You know, I remember us speaking beforehand and you were saying, I'm not sure what they're going to ask. And remember, there's the personal piece. People need to connect with you.
Absolutely.
You'll get your opportunity to talk about the brand, but the relatability is you. And I remember at the time, the one thing that they were quite fixated on during that show was your age.
I know.
And I'll never forget that, because there were so many other things, but it inspired so many other women out there that anytime you can go and do this.
And this is the thing. I mean, I'm 55 years old now, and people cannot believe that when we got the news that the department is going to be restructured, I was excited, because people started to think, you know, at 55, you know, I mean, literally, you're thinking about retirement. I mean, you know, when we've got this tick box, when you talk about ages, it's 18 to 24, 30 something, and it's 50 plus. So, I mean, that last tick box, you know, and at that age, you know, a lot of people were like, oh my God. But for me, it was like, wow, for the first time, I sense some control that I can have, and I can do whatever I want. I mean, 55, age is just a number, I guess. And so many people are inspired by that. They're surprised. And I'm like, okay. I mean, if that inspires a lot of people, then I'm glad. But I'm just doing me.
And I think that's why your personal brand and your collection is doing as well and attracting the attention that is because you're showing up as you.
I am. And I'm loving doing that. I manage my own social media, for example. I mean, I've learned so much doing this, and I think that my true personality is also coming out because I've got a stage where I can just truly express myself. When I started out, I did not know how to post on Instagram. Like, I didn't.
I remember you going for your first set of pictures. Yes, I do. We talked a lot about it on your strategy piece. We sure did.
And now I'm at a place where I actually edit. I do my videos myself, or pictures or whatever. I save it as videos, edit them. I mean, I go into CapCut and I do all sorts of things, and I put the captions and the subtitles, and I'm like, somebody pinch me.
How did you teach yourself that? Did you go to YouTube? Did you?
Well, it's just determination, and I think consistency. I mean, for me, I think consistency has been key. It's just sort of pushing the barrier each time, and just willing to learn, and just the curiosity. I'm so curious about everything and anything. So setting up this brand has been a whole host of stuff that I have learned, and It's just been amazing. And you've been there right with me.
Which I have loved. What is next for you in the cards? If you remember when we first started, you were like, okay, Vogue, that was the big thing, and you've ticked that.
Yes.
What's one big thing that you would like to see next?
You know what? I can actually see this.
Tell us.
And I'm sure I may sound crazy, but I can see it with an info to my left and perhaps a Wintour to my right. And, my collection on that stage, on the catwalk. So, yeah, watch the space.
That's one to look out for. How can people find out about the collection? Can you share your website, the social media handles, so people can find you?
Absolutely. So on the website, I am www.winifredmills.com. Yeah. On Instagram and Facebook, it is at Winifred Mills Official. And on YouTube, I have the same address. Okay. And on TikTok as well, actually.
You joined TikTok?
I did. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I love it.
And I've been doubling with them. Snapchat, I think. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm trying with that. Yeah.
I love it. I love your energy. I love your attitude. And it's so inspiring. Thank you for coming and sharing a little bit of your journey.
Oh, thank you for having me here.
Thank you to travel counsellors for this episode. If you're inspired to start a business like many of the guests that you hear on the podcast, and the thought of planning a dream bucket list holiday lights you up, check out the details in the show notes.